Hello A&P students, this is Mr. Becker here to talk about the posterior structures of the external heart. All right, down here we can make out the apex of the heart. All right, so we're seeing something of an inferior view and a posterior view here. So up here is the base of the heart. We can see the opening of the aorta located right here, and then this pink thing right here is the esophagus, and then these gray things on either side here and here are the main bronchi, and then the trachea is located a little farther up here. So just to kind of point out where structures are located. All right, so since this is the apex of the heart, the key trick here is that since we're looking at it from a posterior view, left is left and right is right. Whereas when we take anterior views in humans, right is left and left is right because we're looking at it inside of the other person. Here it's as if they are in the same view we are. All right, so we can see the atrioventricular sulcus running along through here, coming around to the other side and completing its circuit around the heart. So we have the ventricles down here, and then the atria are located above the atrioventricular sulcus. And then you can see here that there is another shallow groove. This is the posterior interventricular sulcus, the opposite of the anterior interventricular sulcus. And if we were to go through the plastic here, we would find the interventricular septum directly underneath the sulcus in approximately that position. So this is the left ventricle, that's the right ventricle. Sitting in the posterior interventricular sulcus here, we have the posterior interventricular artery, which is a branch of the right coronary artery coming from this direction. And we have the middle cardiac vein. Over on this side here, we have the small cardiac vein, and then running right along the margin here, so we can tilt it to the side. All right, about there, we can see the right marginal artery. All right, the small cardiac vein, the middle cardiac vein, and then the great cardiac vein come around the edges here, and they're going to form a structure on the backside right here known as the coronary sinus. All of the blood that's been delivered into the heart tissue by the coronary arteries that I've previously mentioned is going to be collected by these three veins, small, middle, and great cardiac veins, and delivered to the coronary sinus. The coronary sinus is interesting because it's the only structure that has direct access to the right atrium, located right here, whereas all other blood has to pass through the inferior vena cava or the superior vena cava to get back to the right atrium from systemic circulations. The coronary sinus has direct access to the right atrium. All right, so this is our right atrium over here, our inferior vena cava. You can see 1, 2, 3, and then a little harder to see over here, 4. These 4 are our pulmonary veins coming into the left atrium. All right, so these are why these aren't generally considered part of the great vessels. The pulmonary veins are bringing oxygenated blood back to the heart to get pumped out through the left hand circulation to the systems of the body, whereas the inferior vena cava and the superior vena cava are carrying deoxygenated blood into the right atrium so that way it can get pumped out via the right side circulation to the lungs to be oxygenated. All right, so these are the basic structures that we can find on the posterior of the heart models.